Hello everyone and welcome back to part 10 of the How to Draw a Horse in Coloured Pencils tutorial here on YouTube. If you're just joining me now and you want to go back to the beginning, I'll link part 1 down below so that you can do that. And for everyone else, let's carry on with this lovely mouth and nose section of the horse. Everything that you need to know for this tutorial is listed in the description, such as the coloured pencils, the reference, everything. So without further ado, let's get started. Okie dokie, so I'm going to start on like the nose and mouth area like I said. I think we'll use the dark Sepia 175 first, and we'll just map in some of the key areas, like our little guidelines, so that we can see. So I think the nostril definitely could use a bit of an outline so that we can see where those dark bits are. And I'm not doing like a solid outline, I'm just sort of like adding a few bits. Like very hairy in there, so I'm just gonna give it quite a rough little outline, and I'm gonna go around the edge of the nostril. So just add in a few little bits, just go around the edge of these like little patchy bits, and I'm gonna add a line in where that mouth is there, and then the rest of it isn't too dark, so I don't want to go adding dark sepia and making it look way too dark, so just add that in there. Add a bit more around there. And I'll just add a little bit around the patch there, and then we'll just focus on this area for now. I don't want to go too far. Oh, let's just add a little bit of an outline around this little patchy bit as well. I'm just adding it so lightly that it's not like too dark and it's easy to just lift off if need be. Okay, let's leave it there for now. Then I'm going to use the Cold Grey 231 as a base for some of the cooler areas. So round here it's like it's got a bit of a coolness to it if you ask me, and I'm just gonna get rid of those whiskers. We'll add those back in later on, but yeah, gonna just get rid of those for now. So here it's looking really cool, and I'm just gonna get rid of that orange bit. It's looking a bit too orange. So using the Cold Grey 231, I'm going to blend that in as the base colour in that cooler area. So around here. And a little bit around here as well. And then it's a bit warmer everywhere else, so just going to blend that in a little bit more. A little bit around here actually. And I'm actually going to add a bit in here. It's got a bit of a blue tone. I'm actually going to blend a bit into the nostril itself too. It's got a bit of a cool sort of tone in there actually. Not all the way in though, it's sort of more just around where the light's hitting it. Okay, and then let's use the warm grey 271 for the rest of it. It's got a bit more of a warm undertone. So I'm going to blend that into the and blend it into that cooler grey a little bit as well. So it all blends together. And I'm going to go into the nostril itself. Oh, it's going a really weird colour again. It's alright though, because it's nice and warm in there, so it doesn't matter that there's those little orange bits. It does that sometimes, this pencil. And I'm going to blend a bit up here too. Okie dokie, let's use the Nougat 178 now. I don't want to go straight to the burnt umber because it's quite like a neutral brown. It's not too warm, so I think Nougat will do a very nice job. So Nougat 178. And let's start in the nostril actually. Start just building that up. Doing lots and lots of little taps. We want it to look velvety. That's like our main goal with this. And then in the nostril I might just like shade it in a little bit, to be honest, because it's so dark. We're going to be layering up quite a lot of pencil there, but where it's hairy, like these little nose hairs, just going to do some little strokes and sort of like leave some little bits to try and make it look hairy. And just gonna shade the rest in. And then I'm going to go back to doing little taps to make the lighter bit around here look velvety. There we go, and then I'm going to start on this bit around the edge of the nostril. going all the way around that nostril, just building it up. We will be adding some quite dark shadows around here, but we're just sort of building up the base. I am going to blend it into the brown fur as well. We might end up adding a little bit of this a bit further up, I don't know yet, we'll see. I think we definitely need to add a bit more something up here anyway. Starting to look nice and soft and velvety already. Might just do some little tiny bits of shading, little patchy bits. Just try and speed it up a little bit, but I'm blending it in really softly. Okie dokie. And then I'm just going to do the edges of this like nostril area. Just to soften it up a little bit. And around here. Okie dokie. Right, let's add a little bit of burnt ochre 187. There's a bit of an orange yellow tone in here. I mean, we might end up having to add a bit more of a yellow colour, but let's just try a bit of this. Just for a bit of warmth and maybe a bit around here. Just going to shade it in a little bit. And I'm going to blend a little bit around here. And a little bit around here just to blend it in a tad. Might actually blend a bit more around here. I feel like I've not blended that very well. Okay. Maybe a little bit more around here. Okay, let's go back to the dark sepia 175 and darken up this nostril. I'm going to do some little strokes just around the edges of the nostril to give it that fuzzy sort of look. And again at this side I'm just sort of going around some little hairs by just leaving some lighter bits in between my strokes. Sort of looking at the direction of the little bits of fur, they sort of come round here like this. Just going to really softly blend up a little bit. And up here. And then I'm going to shade in the rest. And then when I get to the edge of the shadow, again, I'm just going to do some little taps to blend it out a little bit. Hey, I'm not going to lie to you, I have been having some commission disasters recently and I'm trying hard not to think about it all right now, but oh yeah. I think it's time for me to really think about if I want to carry on with doing commissions. I think it's just not something that I am loving as much as I used to. I obviously enjoy doing it and some people can be so lovely, but I think on the whole commissions as an income stream for me right now isn't my favourite. I'm just sort of having a bit of a think about things and seeing what I want to do in the new year, I think. So just blending that in a bit. And let's do a little bit around the edge of the nostril. Again, just sort of doing these little taps. Blend in a bit there. Gonna do a bit around here. A little bit in here. And then let's go around the edge of this bit. So we'll add some more like vibrant colours in afterwards to get a bit more colour, but for now I'm sort of just adding the shadows. Gonna go over it a few times to darken it up. And just going to bring that out a little bit more. And let's just add a little bit of a darker line under there, and I'm gonna start adding these little bumpy bits on the lip, and I'm just gonna do some like little patches, sort of like blend around like I'm doing some little raised and sunken in sections. So just sort of going across, building them up, going around the raised areas to make them stand out. Oh, there. Right, before we go any further, I think we need to add like a darker, cool grey. So I think I'm going to try Cold Grey 5, 2, 3, 4. So it's a darker, cold grey colour, and I'm going to start to work that in around this area. I love this colour for things like this, like a horse's mouth. I just think it works really nicely. So making it look nice and velvety. Lots of little taps. It's building it up. And I might add some up here as well. And let's actually add a bit around the edge of the nostril. So glad to hear that a lot of you are enjoying this tutorial. I've had quite a few of you reach out to me to show your pictures and just tell me how much you're loving it, so thank you. It always honestly makes my day when you reach out, because I think as artists, especially going through periods like this where a lot of things can knock your confidence, it's like it's really hard to stay positive, and you know, it's very personal what we do, so as soon as something knocks our confidence, it's quite difficult to get it back. So yeah, I always really smile when I receive your messages. So yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying this tutorial. That looks nice actually. Okay, I feel like we need more of a dark brown, so let's use some Burnt Umber 280. So let's blend some into this bit here to begin with. And around here. Adding that nice rich brown tone. Let's add a bit here. And I'm gonna blend a bit more around here, I think. and here. And I'm going to add some more around here. So I am just doing like little bits of shading. I'm not lifting the pencil off too much because I just want to try and layer this up a little bit more quickly, but it still looks really soft and fuzzy because I'm only doing teeny tiny little movements with the pencil. That's looking better. Okay, let's blend a bit down here. There we go, that's looking nice. Blend a little bit into these like textured areas. Maybe a bit more into this bit of the nose. Okay. Okay, let's now use the Dark Sepia 175 again, and I'm just going to go back over some of these areas to darken them a little bit more. Like the nostril. We'll definitely need some black in there to add a bit more depth, but we'll do that in good time. I do find with the Canson paper I just have to keep going and adding loads of layers, which can take a bit of time. I think in future I'm going to try using the Fabriano again. I've discovered that the other side of the paper works a lot better than the side that I was using on the new version of the Fabriano, so I think next time I do a tutorial I'll try doing that again. Just because of how long it takes to layer up on this paper, and if you're doing a lot of colours it really does it takes a long time. But yeah, I'm going to darken up around here. That's looking better. Sometimes you just need a few layers. That's a lot better. Right, let's add a bit more at the bottom here. So to get a bit more of those little shapes and raised areas in the skin again. Let's add in a little bit more there as well. Okay, let's also just add a little bit around here. And a little bit more around here. I do think we need a bit more burnt umber there. Might need to press a bit harder with that. Yeah, let's add a bit more burnt umber to 80. Like I said, I'm just going to apply a bit more pressure. and a little bit around the nostril, I think. A little bit more around here. Okay, let's use some black 199 and let's darken up the nostril. Really pushing that area in, giving it a bit more depth. Going around these little hairs. And then darkening up the shadow. And then let's do the same around this bit of the nostril. Let's darken it up. There we go, lovely and deep. I feel like we need another colour, maybe some Payne's Grey, you know. I feel like we need an even darker, cool toned colour. So Payne's Grey 181. Let's just layer a bit of this up here. That's nice. A little bit around here. And a bit more up here, I think. And I'm going to do a bit in here. And a bit around the edges of the nostril. Okay, let's add a tiny bit more dark sepia 175. I just want to add a few more details around here. It's like a little raised bit there. You know, just add a little bit more something going on. Maybe a bit more through here. Bit more around here. Okay, that's looking really good. I might add a bit of a yellow tone into the nose, but this is optional if you want to add it in. If you don't have like a yellow colour, don't worry too much about it. But I think I'm going to use a bit of... do I use dark cadmium yellow or just normal cadmium yellow? So torn between these two colours. Let's try cadmium yellow 107. So just any bright yellow colour that you've got. I'm just going to blend that in a bit round there. Oh, that's nice. I feel like that's the one. Give it a bit of that yellow tone. Might actually add a bit here. Lovely. I feel like that is what we needed. So I think I might start adding some of those whiskers in. I think before we add the whiskers, I'm just going to add a little bit of burnt sienna 283. I feel like there's a little bit more of a red tone here that I just need to add, and then we'll be ready to add the whiskers. And I think I'll be using my little Tombow eraser to do that because the slice tool doesn't love this paper. I'm looking forward to trying the Fabriano again because that paper always worked really well with the slice tool back in the day, so let's see how that gets on. But yeah, just adding a bit there, maybe a little bit around here, a little bit up here. Might actually add a bit more around here as well. Might add a bit more here. Just while we've got this colour in our hand. maybe a bit up here. Okay, now for the fun bit, or what I would think is the fun bit. I like adding little whiskers back in. A lot of people don't enjoy adding whiskers, but try not to overthink it. All we're doing is taking away the colour with a little eraser. So like I said, I use the Tombow Mono Zero little eraser. It's like in a little pen thing like this. And all you're doing is taking away the whisker. So just go over and over it a few times using the pointiest bit that you can find of the eraser, and you're just taking away those top layers of pencil. And this is why it's always good to have a lighter base colour for stuff like this. It's just easier to do the subtracting parts. So I'm just looking for anywhere with a little whisker and just taking them away. Sometimes I'll add a bit less than there actually is on the reference, just because I don't feel like you always need to add every single whisker that you see. But these ones cross over here, makes it look more interesting. Yeah, I want them to be quite thin, so yeah, try your best not to make them too thick or anything like that. Might actually make that one a bit longer. I want them to be subtle, but also I want them to like stand out enough. Do a little one here. Bend that one round a little bit. And then I might just do one coming across here a little bit. Another one there. So they look a little bit fuzzy, a little bit like there's not really much definition to them at the minute, so we need to go around them a little bit and just define them a bit more. So dark sepia 175, just gonna go underneath the whiskers. Be careful not to go over them too much, you're just defining them a little bit. Just like that. Just so that they're a little bit more visible. Go around that bit there. Go. And then if you want to, it's totally optional, you could use a white pencil to then go on top and make it even more white. I might try it. Might use my Derwent Drawing Chinese White 7200, but use whatever creamy white pencil you have. I also like the Museum Aquarelle White. I like the Luminance White, that one's not too bad. But yeah, I think this one's probably the one that I use the most at the minute, so I'm going to sharpen it up and we'll just go over those a little bit. Okay, so lovely sharp pencil. Just gonna go in and add a little bit more sort of sharpness and make them stand out a little bit more. You might wonder why not just go on top of the dark colour with the white, and that's just because I don't find that it stands out enough, personally. I like to have that little bit of a lighter base to work with. But there we go, I feel like they look really good. There are some more that sort of stick over this bottom part of the mouth, but until we've done that we can't really add those in. So yeah, I think they look really good. I might now start adding the pink area in. So let's use the Beige Red 132 as the base, and I'm just gonna start to colour that in the pink bit of the nose. Bringing it up here a bit. Oh, that looks lovely, doesn't it, with the pink? Bringing it down here. Might even add a little bit into that nostril there. I feel like that'll look nice. Bringing it down here. Bringing it across here a bit. Bringing it to the edge of that nostril there. And I'll just dab those bits a tad so that I don't smudge that pencil line. But yeah, I'm bringing it down to this patch here. Just going to fade it out a bit as I get further up. We'll deal with that bit once we do more of the white bit of the face. But yeah, leave that there for now. I feel like we probably need to use the white actually to just add some of the highlights back in. I'm going to use the Chinese white 7200 from Derwent Drawing, but like I said, just use whatever you have. I'm just going to start to add the lighter areas, and I don't often use white on top like this, but only when I want to lighten something. So I don't burnish for the sake of burnishing, I just use it when I know that I want to make a colour a bit lighter, and it does work nicely on top of the beige red, so it doesn't like make it look really mucky or anything, which it can do if you put it on top of some darker colours. So blending that in. Alternatively, you could just use like a really pale pink from the Luminance range, but I don't want to do that. I want to use mostly just Faber Castell Polychromos, but obviously the white from the Polychromos isn't great for stuff like this. It's not waxy enough, so I tend not to use it. But yeah, I'm just going to go over most of that, to be honest, because we can use the beige red to then add more details back in again. There we go. Okay, I might just go back to the Nougat actually first. So 178, and I'm just going to use that to like blend onto the pink bit from the nostril, and that section sort of looks seamless and not like two separate sections. Blending that on. And I'm going to do the same down here. It needs a bit more. Just around there. A little bit down here. Bit more in there, I think. And then I'm going to add some down here. Lots of teeny tiny little white hairs down here, but I'm just going to do some little bits with the nougat. And then definitely some coming from that bottom edge of the lip upwards. Oof, that's looking good. Let's add a little bit more just round here. Maybe blend a little bit more up here. I feel like that nougat on top of the beige red actually looks really good as like a texture, shadow sort of colour, just to add a little bit of something. Might actually use that to add some more details up here. Can you see these like really little sort of changes in the colour in the skin where the folds and stuff are? They're very subtle, but you can just see them like there. Really, really gently, I'm just going to add a little bit around that lighter area. Gonna blend some bits down here. So I'm just looking for these really subtle colours in the skin. And little lines and stuff. There's like 3 lines here. Just gonna blend around them a little bit. And then there's like a line here. Add that in. A bit more obvious, that one. And I'm just gonna like blend around it a little bit so it's not just like a clean straight line. It's got a little bit more a natural look to it, and I might just darken up this one a little bit more. And go around this bit, like a little line next to that one. And then let's add a little bit where this nostril is. And just blend a little bit from that line inwards. add some here. Maybe a bit more around there. Bit more here. When you sort of sit back and look at it as a whole, you can see where you might need to add a little bit more. Add some up here. Bit more around there. So we didn't really need the beige red to add the details because that works just nicely. Some little wrinkly bits here. Set a bit of a line where that area starts. That's a bit weird until we add these bits in, but we're doing it bit by bit. Just adding some more around here. Bit more here. Bit more just to sort the shape of that nostril out a bit. And then let's add some burnt umber to 80. I'm going to add a bit round here. A little bit round here. A little bit more here. You'd think it'd be done by now, but honestly there's always bits that you can add more to. Definitely need some more around there. Oh, I'm obsessed with it. It looks like realistic. I love drawing this bit of a horse though. I just really like the softness of it all. Drawing soft things is like my favourite thing to do, so probably why I love it so much, but I might just add a bit more around here. Maybe a bit more up here. And I might finish off just again by adding a bit more into the fur. I just feel like I've not quite finished that yet. Bit more in here. Definitely a bit more around here. totally like subjective how much you want to add on to yours. Yours will be different to mine. It'll need different areas of like focus, so just it's a bit of like your own sort of artistic eye and just see what you think needs adding, but there's always room for more. I'll probably go back over it all at the end and like perfect it and stuff, but I think I might just spend a little bit of time just doing some more strokes. Might add a bit more burnt sienna to 8-3. I feel like we need some more red. Add a bit of that in. Try not to smudge it. Okay. A little bit more here. Okay, and I think I'll leave it there for that part. I feel like we've made some good progress, and I think in the next video we'll actually finish the nose and mouth area. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed joining me for another part. I'd love it if you could give this video a like if you did enjoy it, because it really does help my channel out. Subscribe to see more videos like this, and I shall see you in the next one. So bye for now and have a lovely day.